Steve from CCL. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Antec Kuhler 620. It's an all-in-one CPU water cooling solution with radiator and fan. So let's zoom in and have a quick look at what you get. Okay, so we're a little bit more up close and personal with the item now, so let's have a quick look around the packaging. Obviously an image of the front there. Now, I'd just like to point out it's still sealed. I've been inside this one, so its contents are as much of a surprise to me as they are to you, unless you've already got one, in which case, why are you here? Anyway, moving on, we have a quick little graph showing you the obviously the temperatures. That's high temp, lower is better. Here we have a standard Intel air cooler, doesn't tell us which one they're comparing it to. We have a first gen liquid cooler, again no comparison, and we have the Kuhler 620, which is this unit here. Now obviously in this graph it is the lowest one, so out of these three this one is the best. So let's have a quick look around the packaging. Obviously we have the quick install zero maintenance, which is written all over the box, so they're really trying to emphasise that one. On the rear we have the pictures of some parts that are included, so I'll just take you through these now. That is top of CPU block and pump. We have radiator and a 120mm fan. We obviously have the tubing here, or the piping, and the CPU block. Now inside the unit this is actually compatible with the Intel and AMD sockets. So once we get it up, and I'll show you what brackets you come with, and I'll quickly try and explain which ones you need for which, etc. Yeah. Right, okay, so I've pulled the camera back a little bit so you can see more of what's going on. So yeah, let's take a look inside and see what we actually get with it. Now I've already cut the top, just so we can get in it a little bit quicker. Okay, first thing I notice is it's quite well packed, quite clean. There's no excess of packaging. Sometimes you get a product and it's, where's my stuff? This seems quite straightforward. We've got the instruction book. We have the different fitting clips, fitting brackets and other accessories. We have the 180mm fan, which is actually nice to see that this isn't already hardwired to the radiator. That's the first thing that jumps out at me on that one, because it is a bit of a pain with the other units of this type where you can't change the fan if you want to. So I'll pop that over there. Right, okay, first impressions. Radiator seems a decent size, standard width-ish for a 120mm rad. The CPU block and tubing, so we'll put what we've got in that. Now we already have a thermal pad pre-applied to this, as you can see there. It's actually quite clean looking. It's not a polished edge on there, but it's okay looking. Right, impressions so far. Obviously on the actual pump we've got the CPU fan header, which is where that goes, that runs the pump, although on some configurations they don't recommend putting on that because the CPU fan header will throttle the pump up and down, which you generally want it running at a constant. So what some people do suggest is you just put it on one of the chassis fan adapters, which isn't fan speed controlled, or disable fan speed controlling. Now we also have this female adapter, which I believe is for us to hook up our 120mm fan, but I'm guessing you could also plug it into a fan controller, etc. So yeah, to be honest, that's the unit in a nutshell. The tubing is quite flexible. I've seen some other units where it's not as flexible as that. I do like the feel of that. Now something that I'm hoping I'm not going to regret doing is I'm actually going to do what I used to refer to as a tug test, and just pull on these, and they are actually quite secure. I know it seems a little bit strange to start just pulling on it as soon as you get it out, but it is one of the things that concerns people is the potential of these leaking. Now obviously from our tug test they seem quite sturdy. So right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut again, I'm going to move everything out of the way, I'm going to zoom back in, I'm going to take a look at the fitting brackets, see everything, and then hopefully following this unboxing and mini review video we should be doing a fitting into a case. So I'm going to show you just how straightforward and easy these are to fit. Obviously Antec have been boasting on the packaging that they are quick to install, so let's hope that. that proves to be true. Right, okay, so I've just pulled back to show you all the accessories that we've got here. We have the screws and fittings there for the radiator and fan. We have some longer screws to mount the fan to the radiator and some smaller screws to mount the radiator to your case. We have some plastic clips and fittings for the different CPU sockets that we support in this unit. And what the interesting thing is we only actually come with 2 brackets. So we've got the Intel one, which is a 2-part assembly. This goes on the back of the motherboard and this unit goes on the front. Now we have 3 different holes, not sure if you can see that one here, but we have 3 different holes on each one, and that's because this supports the 1366, 775, the 1155 and the 1156 CPU sockets. So it's got all the different fan and motherboard hole configurations there. Now the interesting thing with these is that obviously with a normal water cooling block and bracket, let's just get this down here and show you, you would put your outer support on before you put your tubing on, so it would be able to move up and down your tubing. Unfortunately, as this is a sealed unit and it won't fit over and you can't get on anywhere, the way they've engineered it is you have these little cutouts, and you also have the same cutouts around the CPU block. So what happens is you line those up, it fits over, you then rotate it and it locks in place. Now that's handy because every time you want to remove the CPU block, if for any reason you wish to do so, you simply loosen it, pop it down, twist it, and out it comes. You don't actually have to go removing your motherboard and taking the backplate and everything off again, etc., just to remove the block, say for example for a quick CPU change or something like that. So yeah, it's quite handy, and the AMD block supports that as well. Now AMD haven't been changing their fan configurations, so you just get 1 block with standard 4 screw fittings there. So yeah, that's pretty much the item in a nutshell. So hopefully we'll be doing, like I say, a guide on fitting the unit, which should be following this video. Okay, so that concludes our unboxing and first impressions of the Antec Kuhler 620. First impressions are, I like the packaging, not just the materials, but the layout of it. It's kind of, here's a bag with all your accessories, and here's your product. There's no little fiddly bags of this and a little bag of that over there and stuff that you might drop and lose. It's here's your fittings, here's your pump. It's quite basic, quite straightforward. So it does seem as if, you know, it will be quite simple and straightforward to fit. So we're going to post a video response of me actually showing you how to fit this product in a couple of days, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, it seems like a decent product, so please comment, rate and subscribe. Thanks for watching. My name's Steve.